Hey guys, Harsh here and welcome back to Technolobe. I've been using this phone, that is the Redmi 5, for 3 days now and it's in time for a camera review. This phone has been performing really well when it comes to the cameras. That's why I thought I would post a video about the camera, like an in-depth review of the camera or so. So hence today, let's have a look at some photos and videos that I have been shooting with this phone. Without wasting any more time, let's begin. Okay, so before I get further into my video, let's talk about the specs of the camera that come with this phone. So on the rear side, you get a 12 megapixel sensor with an aperture of f2.2 and you get a 1.25 micron size pixel. That means theoretically it should capture more light into the sensor. Moving to the front camera, it is a 5 megapixel sensor and now it comes with a selfie light. That means you get a dedicated flashlight and not a display flash, which is a good thing in my opinion. Now both the front as well as the rear camera can shoot 1080p up to 30 fps. There is no 4K available, but that is okay because considering the price of Rs 9,000, I was not expecting 4K at all. But anyway, now that the specs are out of the way, let's just dive into the photos. I have the photos on my laptop here, so let's just get to them. Okay, so this was literally the first photo that I ever clicked with this phone and it is very good. Like the camera was facing the sunlight, still the dynamic range is good and the photo turned out to be pretty good. Next up, here you can see that everything is in focus and the photo is actually very sharp. The colors are good, it is not oversaturated and even the dynamic range is good in this photo. Next up, here you can see again the dynamic range is very good and at the price of Rs 9,000, this camera performs really well. Thanks to the 1.25 micron size pixel, yeah, it does capture a lot of light into the sensor. Next up, here you can see that there are various colors and all the colors were reproduced very well actually. Like the color reproduction is actually very good on this camera. In earlier Xiaomi phones, they used to add saturation and some other things, but now they stopped that. The colors are more true to life and it is a very big thumbs up from my side. Moving on, again over here, this photo is really good. The light is in focus and I really like the sharpness of this photo. Like the detail is very good and that is a thumbs up from my side. Next up, here the depth of field is very good. Like this phone does not offer portrait mode like some other phones do, but still here if you get closer to the subject, the depth of field is actually very good. You can see in the background that there are some lights and the lights are blurred out very good and the teacup is in focus and yeah, the overall image is pretty pleasing. Next up, here you can see that the colors are accurate and the photo is again very good. So when it comes to daylight performance, this camera performs really well. The colors are good, the dynamic range is also very good and overall I don't have any complaints when it comes to daylight photography from the rear camera. Now moving to low light photography, here you can see that the camera struggles a little bit. You can see that there is a lot of noise in the photos, but where you focus, like at the focus point there is not much noise, but other than that the photo has a lot of noise. So here you can see in the rear view mirror, it's looking pretty clear, like the sky is very good, but on the other part of the photo it is not that good. Now moving to another artificial lighting condition photo, here you can see that the cappuccino cup is in focus but it is not that sharp. Like it is losing a bit of sharpness when it comes to artificial lighting conditions, which isn't a good deal. So when Xiaomi advertised that it comes with a 1.25 micron size pixels, it should allow a lot of light to enter through it. It does allow a lot of light to enter through it, but because of the f2.2 aperture, the image is not that good. Like they should have given a wider aperture if they wanted the image to be good in terms of low light. So in terms of low light, this camera does struggle a lot. Here again you can see that the detail is very bad. The photo is not at all sharp, everything is out of focus. Here I actually turned on the HDR mode, but it took a couple of seconds to take the photo and it wasn't good at all. So in terms of low light, yeah, this phone does struggle a lot. Now moving to the front camera actually performs really well when it comes to daylight situations. So the scenario is very similar when it comes to the front camera. The daylight performance is very good, but in terms of low light, it struggles a lot. Despite of having that LED flash, it does struggle. So the LED flash does helps in situations where you have extreme darkness. But yeah, I would have hoped Xiaomi to include a better front camera, maybe higher megapixel count and even a wider aperture, but that's not the case. So I would say that the front camera works well only in daylight conditions. Now moving on, let's talk about video. So as I mentioned before, it can shoot 1080p at 30 fps on the rear side And as you can see in the sample video, it is pretty good. But the only downside being the focus hunting. Like, it hunts for focus, and that is seen in the video. So that is not a good thing. So if you are moving the camera, then yeah, it will hunt for focus. But if you go in the settings and you set the focus, like if you set it tap to focus, then yeah, you're good. So once the focus is set, it won't hunt. But anyway, apart from that, the video quality is actually very good. It is good in daylight conditions, but again in low light it is not that good. So overall, as you can see, this trend is being followed like everywhere. In daylight, this camera performs really well for the price of rupees 9,000, but in low light it does not perform that good. So any smartphone under 10,000 rupees price point won't perform good in low light conditions. That is the truth. And you can see in this phone as well, like it does not perform good when it comes to low light photography. But other than that, the cameras are really impressive. It is an upgrade from Redmi 4. Definitely it is an upgrade, but I would hope a little bit better performance in low light. That is just my honest opinion. You let me know about your thoughts in the comment section down below. So anyway, that's it. I'm done. If you like this video, then go ahead and smash that like button, and also subscribe to the channel. You can follow me on all my social media platforms. All the links, as always, are available in the description box below. My name is Harsh Punjabi, and I'll see you guys in the next one.